Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so nice to connect with you via either this podcast or this video that you're watching because we're shooting the visual of this podcast as well. So I decided to record this quick and little introductory and welcoming podcast so you can get to know me better and I can introduce myself and tell you my story because my story is pretty interesting. And just so you know and have a better understanding as to how I got here, who am I, and what here even is, okay? So, to start with, my name is Elizabeth Sullivan, and right now I work as a clinical psychologist. I have multiple various educations in fields such as clinical hypnotherapy, NLP, Reiki, Theta healing, yoga, body oriented therapy, gestalt therapy. So I'm certified in a lot of different modalities. But my life has not always been the same. I never started with an idea that I want to be a therapist. It's not that growing up, I knew that, hey, once I grow up, I am going to be helping people. I'm going to be digging in that subconscious mind. I'm going to be uncovering and discovering the way the cause and effect reaction works in human being life. It took me quite a long time even to actually get where I am today. And I just want to share my story so you can get to hear it and again, get to know you better. Okay, so let's go. What I want to start with, I was born in Moscow in Russia. I am Russian, even though I have a very wide ancestry, but we are going to get into it a little bit later in this audio file. But I was born in Russia, in Moscow, which is the capital of Russia. And I was a pretty good kid, honestly. I was a pretty talented kid, and I'm not afraid or embarrassed to say that. I was a very talented kid in many, many ways. I remember from a young age, wherever I was sent by my parents, and they always wanted to raise this kind of an A-star player in various fields of life, including classical dancing and music and sports and painting and arts and stuff like that. So I just remember that wherever I would start doing something new, like swimming, or they would send me to a section of ballet or painting, all the teachers would be like, wow, your girl is really gifted. And if you keep sending her here, if she sticks with it, we can actually form her into like an Olympic champion or into an artist, a famous artist. So wherever I would go, I would have this positive reinforcement that I am good at whatever I start doing. So I lived with that. But also what comes with this idea of like being good at things, at all the things, most of the things that you start, you lose interest really fast. And that was my problem. Wherever I would start doing something and that I would advance very, very fast compared to other kids, I would just not have any more enthusiasm behind it. And it might have come from a very narcissistic trauma that a lot of Russians experience. And I even have a separate YouTube video on that topic, on that discussion, why Russian childhood or Russian people, all or most of us, I even started coughing. This is so psychosomatic of me. So why most of the Russian people actually have this narcissistic trauma. And if you're interested in watching that, go ahead and click the link somewhere in the description, and I will ask my assistant to send and add the link to that YouTube video. But that's off the story. So I grew up, I was doing a lot of different things. I was pretty good at a lot of things. And I was also good in school as well. But again, I was raised with my parents showing me that you are loved if you are good. So this is how I was receiving love. This is how I was feeling like I belong or like I deserve something or that I am worthy of something, only if I were good at whatever they were asking of me, right? So I was good in academia, I was good at school, but I remember that at that time when I was shifting into that teenage years of mine, and my developmental stage was shifting from more family oriented into social oriented, I started having these very severe, very, not severe, very advanced. Quick break for the coffee. So I was raised, shown very clearly that I deserve love, or I'm accepted, I am worthy of something if I succeed at academia or at all these other extracurricular exercises, right, and classes. So by the time I stepped into my teenage years of development, something shifted inside of me. And this is the time where a child turns from family-oriented system into social-oriented system. And I remember up to this day when I would go to school, and I was probably in the 7th or 8th grade, I couldn't understand no longer, what am I doing here? Why the hell am I wasting right now 7 to 8 hours a day? And I went to school with more than 7 classes per day, so it was pretty advanced, pretty challenging time. So I was like, what am I doing here? Why and how is this biology class or chemistry class or history, even though I can get through, I can get good grades, I can get A's and B's without really understanding what I'm doing, just by, social environment, like cheating or just fast learning something just to pass the quiz. I started questioning, what am I doing? Why do I need this? This is not what I see in my life. I do not see any value in it. And at that time, I started hanging out or doing singing, or I found a new teacher. I was singing for quite some time. I had a good voice, again, as I was saying. I was even invited to go into the Opera Academy of Russia, which is a big deal. Okay, I'm not going to hide that. So I found this new teacher around that time. And she shifted schools, and she was like, come to my new place where I'm giving the lessons, and we're going to continue having lessons here. I was like, okay. She was a cool young woman. Well, now that I'm thinking about it, she seemed old and mature and everything for me, but she was probably my age as I am right now. I am 26, turning 27. So she was probably a young girl, young woman as well. I was in my 8th grade, 9th grade, and I started going there. And I remember when I first got to that place, it was like something opened up inside of me, because I have never been to places like that. It was this basement, and what that place originally was a rehearsal space for musicians, like underground musicians, not a pop musicians, like what's her name? Not Billie Eilish, but Dua Lipa style. It was more underground, hard rock, metal, rap, hip hop, all the underground music, and artists who were recording and also, hanging out over there, this rehearsal space. And that is where me, this young girl who has never been to places like that, came to sing and do little vocals and train my voice. So I get there, and all I'm seeing are these free and handsome and beautiful and sexy and I don't know, like people who were just living their life. I was like, wow, I was starstruck. They were all much older than me, but I always looked mature to my age, so no one knew that I was actually underage. And I was blown away. I was like, wow, these people are free. This was like a complete opposite of the lifestyle that I've had up to that point. And they were just magnificent. I was like, wow, tattoos and dreadlocks and piercings and drugs and alcohol and all this, polygamy and polyamorous, right? Polyamory in English. that was just a sense of freedom, right? Like teen spirit, as Kurt Cobain would sing. So I started going there, and slowly but very surely, my curiosity took over of me, and I started to try. I really tried to blend into this company, and I was like, I would get alcohol, and I would start drinking with them. That was kind of the time where I started or became involved in the company that truly understood me, or from what I thought, truly knew who I really was, and they started seeing me for who I was, for who I wanted to be, as opposed to somebody's expectation of me. And at that point, I also switched schools so I could graduate earlier, because I told my parents that I can finish school earlier. If you allow me, I can finish it earlier. I don't have to go and waste, 9, 10, 11, like 3 more years of my life to finish this grade separately. I can just finish it in 1 year, which I actually did. And at the same time as I was finishing these 3 last grades in school, I started hanging out. I started blending into this rock and roll company and lifestyle in my life. And that's kind of was my first touch, or first entrance, first introduction into this freedom, into this, who do I really want to become? What do I really want in life? And then a year passed, and I graduated school with the honors. And by that point, I had my crazy days already. I tried all kinds of drugs. I was drinking. I fell in love with this first boyfriend, or first fiance of mine, if you please, who was also 10 years older than me. But when you're, I don't know. I mean, like I felt like I was mature enough, because I was 16 at that time, and I totally felt like I was on the same level as all these people. And they all cherished me. They even called me the queen of rock and roll, the queen of alcohol. And I have this little tattoo. If you're watching the video on YouTube right now, I'm showing that to you. I have a little tattoo with a crown on my finger, and this little Russian word that says Tsaritsa, which means the queen, the Tsarina, the wife of a czar in Russian. And that was my nickname in that specific group of people, amongst that group of people. But then a year passed, and in that year, even though I had my crazy times and I really loved it, and I got finally introduced into something that I was creating for myself, this circles that I was creating for myself, this name that I was creating for myself, I realized inside myself that I do not want to do that anymore, because I never was inspiring to be a groupie or somebody who just hangs out with people. I was looking at these rock singers and groups and bands, and I was seeing the attention that they get once they go on stage, and I was like, that is what I want. I do not want to be behind the scenes. I want to be in the center of attention. I want to be on that stage. And I came, and when I turned 17 and I graduated school, I said, you know what, I'm moving out. And that was the time when I left Russia. I was 17 years old, and I went to Cambridge. I got accepted into Cambridge University, the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, in a class of musical theater, which is also pretty big in London, in England, because they have West End over there. This is a same version, the English version of Broadway, the UK version of Broadway. Because at that point, I did not know if I want to sing or dance. I just knew that I wanted to perform. I knew I wanted to be on stage. I knew that I wanted to be seen. And I moved to London. I moved to Cambridge, actually a small little city, town. Maybe, hopefully, I will visit it one day, already in my adult years. And I moved over there, and I studied over there, and I loved it, kind of. And I was pretty good at it. And surprisingly, right now, when I talk to my parents and I ask them, my mom has recently told me that when I came to them with this idea, they thought this is just my teenage years. They thought that I will go there and I would hate it, and I will come back with my tail between the legs saying, hey, I'm so sorry, I want to stay in Russia, and I want to continue doing what I was doing before. which is the academia thing. But I did not. I actually fell in love with it, and I loved living by myself. Even though I was a little bit, sad and depressed because I still was on the journey of finding myself. But after graduating the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, I moved to New York. And that was my biggest and scariest probably trip. Now that I'm thinking about it, it wasn't really a scariest trip because even though everyone around me was super scared because it's the other side of the world, I have never been to America before. Even though I've traveled a lot when I was a kid with my family, I have never moved to a place that is like, on the other side of the world. This is literally the opposite side of the world from Russia. And because London is like, 3 hours away. And US is like 12. So I moved to New York by myself. And I started performing at Broadway. I started continued studying Broadway. And I started getting jobs on Broadway as well. And that was probably one of the darkest moments of my life, or that continued or enhanced that internal despair, that depression that I was feeling up to that point on this path of searching who I really was, who I really wanted to be, what I wanted to do, and, what is this life all about, right? I was just searching for that. I was trying to figure it out. And I thought I was doing something that I loved. I thought Broadway was this big wow thing, but after living in New York for a year, even after a few months, it just started eating me alive. It started eating me alive so bad. My depression really raised or heightened at that point. And I remember that after New Year's, because I moved there in September, and after New Year's, I couldn't leave my apartment. I had an apartment on the top floor in one of the buildings, and at that point, I was already hooked on drugs, and I just would not leave my apartment. I would order drug delivery, and I would order alcohol delivery, and I would order food delivery. So everything was left outside of my door, and I would never leave my apartment. And I was calling my mother, crying, saying, "Please come and help me and take me back. Please take me back or do something. Help me. I cannot drag myself out of it. I am so, so sad." Now that I am thinking back about it, it was really one of my ways of, getting my attention or trying to feel that love from my family, from my parents, from my mother, in any way, sort or shape or form that was available to me. But she never came. She didn't come. And for months and months, I was just alone in that apartment. Very, very sad. So what got me out of that, even though she would never come to pick me up and help me, I took the last money that I had and I bought the ticket. I was actually listening to music a lot as well. I was listening to music a lot as well. So I was in the apartment, drugs, alcohol, food, and music. Great, great combo. Don't do that at home, kids. And one day I just took all the money that I had left and I purchased the ticket to the tour of my favorite, at that time, band, Motley Crue. This old school, 70s, 80s not punk rock, they're like glam rock band that I loved. You probably know it because of Tommy Lee, right? That sex god of the 90s with Pamela Anderson. There's a new show on Hulu as well, Tommy and Pam and Tommy, which is pretty cool. The guy who's playing Tommy is really good actor, but that's off topic. So I took the rest of my money and I I went to, and I bought this ticket. They announced it was their last tour ever, supposedly, apparently, because this year they're actually touring again. So I was like, get me my money back. I spent a lot of money getting that ticket because I thought that was the last time they will ever perform, which was quite a while ago. And I bought this VIP ticket, and on the day of the concert, I go there, and I'm in this gown, in this dress. I probably even have some pictures of that somewhere. I will try to find and insert it here. But I'm in this glamorous gown, I'm like drugged up, but I still took myself out of the apartment and I went there. It was super hot. I'm in this literally Met Gala gown, because that's how you do it when you're from Russia. And I get there and I'm doing this photo shoot with the band because my package included, meeting the band. And I remember that I had the front row tickets. Since then, I don't ever, actually before that, I like to be in the front row. I love it. I love not exploiting the performers, but kind of feeling like I'm a part of the performer, of the performance, and really challenging them, if you know what I mean. So I'm in the front row and I'm doing all these like dance moves and I'm singing the songs and I'm being all sexy in the gown, definitely looking like no one else in the crowd. Everyone else is wearing ripped jeans and shirts and like band shirts and stuff and like cowboy boots, and I'm over there in a fucking Met Gala gown. And I know that the band that was opening for them was Alice Cooper. And all the guys have noticed me. Like, I know they noticed me in the front row. And little do I know, at the end of the first show, the halftime, one of the security managers comes to me and he's like, hey, the band wants to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And I get backstage and I meet all these people. Shout out to Nita and Ryan, if I believe that correctly, but I definitely do remember Nita. Nita was a friend of mine as well, who is a guitar player from Alice Cooper. And I start hanging out with them and Glenn, and oh my God, I have so many stories about those times. It was phenomenal, but that was something that I remember. We went backstage and we went to the bus after the show, and I was telling Nita about and the guys that I was like, hey, I'm done with New York. And she said, why don't you move to LA? And I was like, yeah, why don't I move to LA? For real though. So that was my pivotal moment. And I kind of like went with it. And next thing do I know, in a few weeks or maybe even in a few days, I'm in Los Angeles. And I moved here. And since then, I have been in LA for probably over 9 years. And that is my home. It is for a moment right now. But that's not the end of the story, because my depression actually continued, even though you might think, hey, you finally found the place that you're looking for. You finally found this, whatever you made you happy. And I started doing my own music. I went to a musicians institute as well. And I started studying that, and I formed a band, and I met a lot of people. I knew a lot of people from the industry in rock music and alternative music here in LA, and people knew me. Believe me, they knew me, the queen, the tsaritsa. They knew me well, but my depression also was progressing exponentially. I was just losing it. The drug abuse, the alcohol abuse, the sex abuse was just getting a little bit too out of control. And I even had overdosed twice. I had this near-death experiences at that time of my life, but to be honest, I didn't really care. Yes, it scared me a lot, but that internal feeling of like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know what I want in my life. I don't even know who I am anymore, was definitely standing in the way of me getting any help or feeling better, if in that case, right? And after the second overdose and, continuing this very, very downward spiral of just, small ups and downs, but mainly this internal void of what am I doing with my life? There must be something much better. I don't know something. I'm missing a puzzle. I'm missing a huge puzzle in my life that defines me, or supposed to define me and show me where to go and show me this guiding light of what am I supposed to become. And that was missing. That was missing at that point. And I remember the next pivotal spot in my life was a few days before my birthday, or even on my birthday. I got invited to this big award ceremony amongst rock music. And it was somewhere in Ohio, if I'm not lying. I don't remember where it was. I think it was Kerrang Awards or something like that. And I got invited, so I go there by myself. At the end of it, I am in the room, and next day is my 18th birthday, right? I was pretty young at that point, and I already went through a lot. And I'm laying in the room, and I have alcohol somewhere, maybe even drugs, and I'm waiting for this one guy to text me, because he would text me occasionally, and I liked him. And I was sitting over there just in full desperation. And I sat on the bed and I asked myself like one question. I became honest with me, right? With myself. I became honest with myself and I said, listen, you have two ways to go right now. One way is you continue with this, you continue falling down the rabbit hole with this downward spiral. You continue with drug abuse, and alcohol and this burning life out very, very fast. And I doubt you will even make it to the Club 27. If you don't know the Club 27, the people who died at the age of 27, like Kurt Cobain and Amy Winehouse, and that is biologically the age, the last time, the capacity that the body can handle severe abuse of different things that traumatize you on the physical level. And the end of that line is the age of 27. So the physical damages become unbearable at that point. Or you can be honest with yourself and just think of one thing that you want right now. What do you want? What do you truly, really, really, really want? And go there. And I sat there in that question for a second, and I knew that one thing that I wanted was closure, relationship. I wanted someone by my side. I was so tired of being alone. I was so tired trying to fight for love or trying to do something to deserve love or trying to be someone or be something to get this love. I just wanted someone by my side. And I had a lot of men. I had a lot of men. I never had a relationship in my life. Like a proper relationship. And next thing that I know is that next day is my birthday. I'm flying to Los Angeles, back from wherever it was, Idaho or something. And 4 weeks after that, I was engaged. I was engaged to the love of my life, to my soulmate, to my twin flame, to my husband, who is a husband right now. My favorite person in the world. And that moment changed my life. Once I became honest with myself of what do I consciously want, once I brought awareness to my true desire, my true wish, at that moment, it changed my life completely. And there was no turning back. Never. That point, that day, literally got me to where I am right now. So I'm going to just speed up the next thing that happened, because everything just started happening so fast. I got engaged to the love of my life. I became a psychologist, a clinical psychologist. I quadrupled my income. I made $1 million. I started helping people, and I started living finally the life of my dreams. Right now, I can honestly say, and that's really interesting because I saw that one of my former clients on Instagram, and she told me that a while ago. She said, whenever I go to a new coach or a new trainer or a new teacher or psychologist, I ask them, and she has all the rights to do that. I ask them, how satisfied are you with your life on the scale from 1 to 10? And she asked me that question once without doing the whole prefix. Or the pre-introductory of why she's doing it. And I honestly told her, I was like, 9. I am really, really happy with my life. I know that my grass is greener than on the other side. My grass is greener. The grass on the other side of me is greener than where it is right now, because I know that I can get there, but I do not compare it with anyone else. And I would say it's 9 out of 10 because there is a potential to grow. And that is what I dedicated my life to. Growth and development, but I know that I am fully in control of that. And that moment where I said that my first one of my wishes about meeting the partner. So after setting that first one of my conscious wishes of meeting my partner and that thing happening in my life in such a short period of time, it triggered me to go and research why I became a clinical psychologist, why I started digging into all various different programs and courses and tools of becoming the author of your life, because that's what it is. That's what psychology is, or at least the way I see psychology for sure, because you can still find a lot of orthodox therapists to whom you would go for years and years, and they would just, ask you all these questions and just about nothing. It does not lead to anything, okay? I'm honestly not a big, I keep saying the word protagonist, which is not the word. I'm not a big fan of orthodox psychology, of orthodox therapy, which is a big part of American association of psychology. Is this orthodox therapist to whom you come and you just speak about your life and they just listen to you and then you keep doing it and doing it and doing it. No, this is an amazing tool that can actually help you restructure your life, because everything has a cause and effect structure in your reality, in our reality, in my reality, in everybody's reality in life. Everything has a cause and effect, and such things as psychology or hypnotherapy or coaching, they just help you find these things and change them so you can be in control of what happens to you in reality. So that moment started this big search of mine to collect all different knowledge from mysticism. And again, as I've mentioned, I have a lot of credibilities. I am a clinical psychologist. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. I am a gestalt therapist. I am a life coach. I'm a yoga teacher. I am a Reiki master. I am an NLP practitioner. I am a theta healer. I am a body-oriented therapist. I am getting a degree in sexology right now as well, because these are just tools, okay? And you can never have enough of them. Well, at least I can never have enough of them, because I know how they can change your life. I know how they changed my life and how they changed life of my clients. So that's what I dedicated my life to. And for years, I was practicing and doing private practice with clients and VIP clients, which I take on a monthly basis. And I teach them the same method that helped me get to the place I was, right? To help create my wishes, my desires into reality. And I never call it manifestation, because this word has such an ugly connotation to it. It kind of does not have any responsibility to it. It's like, oh, especially in the Californian market, I'm manifesting things, meaning like you're sitting with your crystals on the top of the mountain and just thinking about something, and then it magically appears in your life. Whoa. It doesn't really work like that. And I have a whole different separate topic regarding manifestation. I'm actually a public speaker this week. I will try to link that if we are going to shoot that information as well in one of the at one of the events. And I'm talking specifically about the ugliness of the word manifestation, what it came to be at this day and age. Anyhow, I've been in the private practice teaching women specifically how to uncover, first of all, these crucial part of selves, which are our wishes, our desires. We are taught to stop wishing, stop thinking, wanting things, where in reality, this is the main thing that gives you energy. This I want, this this desire, this drive to get something is the main energy creator or generator in your body, in your life. So I've been doing that for quite some time, until last year, and I realized that, hey, I am probably going to be shifting from private practice for quite a little bit, because I can only help as many women at a time, right? There's just one me. There's a lot of people who need help, who want to advance their life, and this is what I work with only. I only work with people who are ready to take control of their reality. It's easy, it's fun, it's amazing, it's the most result bringing, bearing thing you can ever do in your life. But it's scary, dude. It is scary. It's like, oh, oops, shit. Now I have to accept that everything I am going through at this moment is nothing else but the result of my own doing, conscious or unconscious. So I stopped doing private practice for a little bit of time. I only accept a certain amount of people, not more than 3 a month right now. And that's a very different thing. But if you're still interested, you can email me, and my assistant can do a trial with you, a little consultation to see if you fit for it. But I decided that I am going to create something wider, something bigger, something broader that I am ready to do. I constantly, as I've mentioned, am getting new educations, new tools in my arsenal of things that help you restructure and help you create your reality from nothing, literally. Like, dude, when I am saying to you, babe, dude, whoever's listening, when I am telling you that you are responsible in a good way, you are the true creator of everything that you're going through, everything, every single situation in your life. Feel that power that it gives you. Feel that unlimited potential that goes through your body when you realize that not only, oh yeah, well, I am at this point in my life, but if I am the creator of everything, think about all the things that you can create. Think about how you can improve everything. It's just like, building something out of nothing. Once you acquire these tools, once you acquire this knowledge and you know how to implement it, you can up your life in any aspect, in finances, in money, in relationship, in love life, in sex, in friendship, in publicity, right? In career. You can do it. And that is the most fascinating thing that drives me forward right now, because I keep challenging these boundaries, thinking, and that's possible too? Wait, and I can do that? Oh, how else can my life be better? How else can I make my life more enjoyable and bigger and brighter and fulfilling all my wildest and craziest dreams and desires? Because who is the one to call them crazy if not me? That's just me saying that, right? In reality, everything is possible. So at a certain point last year, I just realized that I have so much energy and information tools that I want to broaden my spectrum and get out of the frames of just doing private therapy and teaching people my course. So I created a project that's called Destination. And Destination is a multi-step, multi-factor program or course or platform, if you please, or something that will be built into a full-on platform. And I realized that when we were traveling a lot, and one of the aspects that I definitely work on a lot, that is a result of my work on finances and my relationship and my personal development and my career, my freedom, is the traveling aspect, because we travel a lot with my husband and me by myself, at least like 6 times a year. We go to different places, different countries, and I am that one traveler who doesn't just lay on the beach at the hotel. I really love to dig into the culture. I really love to go deep and dig and see what is this cause and effect thing going on here that led this or that country into a state it's in right now. What is it famous for? Why, let's say, for example, Dubai is as wealthy as it is right now. What created that? What kind of mentality, mindset of people and energetic capacity of a space led this place to be so blooming and blossoming? What happened? What was the cause and effect here? What steps were preliminary to the result that we see right now? And we're traveling, and I was always digging really deep into the culture. And as a side note, I actually, even though I do say I am Russian, I identify as, I don't even know if I identify as a Russian. I mean, if somebody asked me where I'm from, I would say Russia. But I have so much blood in me. It's funny because when we did 23andMe with my husband, I am that one person to whom the whole map, and they color the map, they color the parts on the map where you have the blood from as well, right? Where you have your ancestors. And when it came back and the results came back, the entire map for my results, except for the south of Africa and Australia, were colored. Like I have the North African blood, Egyptian, Arabic, Jewish, Russian, Slavic, European, Native American, Asian. I have pretty much the whole thing colored. And because I also believe in a lot of energetic, and I am spiritual as well, which kind of comes when you study psychology. Psychology is the science of soul, if you were to translate it from Latin. But I think there is a cause and effect here as well. There is a reason why I'm so drawn to countries, why I'm so drawn to different traditions and nations and people, because I have that physically, literally inside of me. Like, I can relate to so many different places in the world, to so many different populations and nations, nationalities around the world. And I can really depict them very, very fast. If you were to bring me to a country for like 3-4 days, when I talk to people native to that place, I will be able to tell you exactly what's going on in the collective mentality at that moment, in that specific culture. I'm really, really good at depicting that. And I decided that I will create. What if, I thought, we were to harvest this energy? What if we were to bring this energy into helping people to actually transform their lives as well? What if I were to bring the energy, this collective mentality and mindset of, let's say, Dubai, with its wealth, with its abundance, with its gold and royalty and this unlimitedness and this best of the best type of energy to people who want to upgrade their finances? What if I were to connect them to it, not only through pictures and, describing what it's like, but also bring my knowledge as a clinical psychologist and as somebody who collects these tools of personal development from various modalities and help them get to that point even faster? Because not everybody can go to Dubai, or not everybody can go to Peru or Brazil. And not only just to travel there and visit that, right? Because who knows what the next pandemic or whatever is going to bring, but also it costs money, and you really have to know or have this ability or have this training and talent into of depicting these collective mindsets, this collective energy, this cultural background and heritage of a specific place. So that is how Destination was born. I knew that I wanted to combine my unique ability of transcribing and transforming and transcending the energy of a specific place, not only on an energetic level, but also on the mindset level, of the cultural level. And through the tools that I give, through trainings that I write and create, help people connect to that so that can boost their results. And in this series, Destination, the first course that I have ever created, I was kind of touching on that a little bit because I shot a couple of mini courses prior to having that big epiphany of what I want to do next in my life, which is the Love Spell course masterclass that I shot in Russia. And Russia has... This is a pickup course for women who want to meet a partner, or who want to improve their relationship with the opposite sex and know how to make that first connection, how to make this unbelievable imprint of themselves into the partner's mind, right? So this is the first ever on the American market masterclass, a pickup masterclass for the 21st century woman. And I shot it in Moscow because Moscow does have that egregor very, very, very tuned up, because all these women from all over the Russia, not only Russia, but also countries around it, come to Moscow to find a man, right? This is a very known thing. There is a huge competition of meeting the partner, huge competition, not only to build a family, but just to find a guy. There is a very big difference. There's 80 to 20% difference, if not even more, between guys and girls. There's 20% women to 80% man. So the competition is huge, and women have to create these tools and learn the psychology and behavioralistic patterns to find this place under the sun. So I shot this masterclass over there in Moscow. That was the second thing that I shot. And the one that I did before that was a quick masterclass of pranayama, which is the breath work, which I shot in Maldives as well. We did that in Maldives, and I'm bringing the energy of Maldives with me, that very open, very nature, very air element. And I share the 7 sacred techniques over there that were taught to me by Tibetan monks as well. So if you were interested, the links are down below as well. But the first full course that I did in the series of destinations called Destination Wealth. And that is the course that I shot and created in Dubai. And I brought this energy with me. I did the whole thing with a view of Burj Al Arab, probably one of the most well-known and richest and most expensive hotels in the world. The first one that was built of this kind. And I'm teaching the financial mindset, the financial mentality, and financial energy to help people boost their money game, right? Exponentially. This is not financial education, because financial education is less than 20% of what financial mindset is. Financial education, you can go and get an economy courses, or you can go and get an accountant training or something like that, something that will teach you work with numbers. But financial mindset is this deep, vast, and very broad relationship that we have with money energy. So I'm not going to go too deep into it, but that is an amazing, amazing course. I'm very, very proud of that. And I'm not planning on stopping, because this is just the beginning, my friends. If you're not continuously, constantly working on yourself, then you're going backwards, then you're degrading, devolving, right? Evolution is movement forwards. And as people say, or one of my mentors actually said, if you're not running forwards, you are going backwards, right? If you're just walking in a comfortable speed, you are not even staying on the same place, on the same place, right? On the same place, probably. Because world is evolving. World is not stopping. Society is not stopping. Evolution is not stopping. It's not pausing. It's not staying on the same place ever. Time is not stopping, for God's sake. Time is continuous, right? And that's why with time, we have to put the energy and put work into actually bettering ourselves. That's what time is for. So that not everything happens at the same time. So that you have opportunity to change your programming, your mindset, your reality, and actually experience something as a result of that. I think that's it. I think that's all I wanted to share with you today, guys. Thank you so much for staying with me. Again, my name is Elizabeth Sullivan. Do not forget to subscribe to my Instagram, because I post there daily, and I love, love, love connecting with you over there. So send me a DM, send me a text, share a video of you watching this podcast or listening to this podcast. And if you are a part of any of my courses right now, welcome. You're up for an amazing journey. I am so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. You are here to be that best version of yourself. You are here because your grass is green and you want it to be even greener compared to your own of the past, right? Makes sense? Okay, I hope it did. I love you all. Thank you for staying with me. My name is Elizabeth Sullivan, and bye-bye.